major international events like the World Gymnastics Championships. I'm John Neighbor, and today the women's all-around title is up for grabs as the defending champion Shannon Miller is less than at her best because of an injured right ankle. Now, this will make her attempt to win a third all-around title even more spectacular. And Kathy Johnson-Clark, America always expects her to win, but perhaps now that's a little unrealistic.
Boy, it is impossible for me to predict how she's going to do. We're not allowed in the warm-up area, so only Shannon knows how this is going to affect her. But based on the team competition, she won't have an easy time. Though I must say, I have seen her rise to the occasion before. Even if Shannon's not up to par, the competition will be no less than amazing. I'm completely blown away by the Chinese gymnast. Mo Huilan is one of the greatest talents and has some of the most beautiful and daring routines I've ever seen. They're spectacular but risky, and with this group of great all-arounders, she can't afford to miss anything.
Well, with the Olympic Games less than a year away in Atlanta, many Olympic contenders are just now beginning to taste the Olympic gold. Well, if this week's team competition is any indication, Bart Connor, Romania might have a couple of athletes who could vie for those medals.
Well, certainly, John, one wonderful gymnast who lots of gymnastics fans would like to see get the gold here is Lavinia Milosevic. She has won a world or Olympic title on all 4 individual apparatus, but never a world all-around championship. Her biggest competition today may ironically come from her own teammates, Gina Gojian and Simona Amanar. Now, in addition to American Shannon Miller, the best hope for the U.S. may be Dominique Moceanu. Now, unfortunately, she's been a little bit nervous here and may be just a little over her head as well. Unless she gets more focused, she probably won't win a medal, but she may gain some valuable experience here to help her have a shot at an Olympic medal next year in Atlanta.
Our first competitor is Dominique Moceanu, the 14-year-old 9th grader out of Houston, Texas, getting ready to mount the beam, one of the more challenging of the 4 events.
And this will be the truest test of her ability to handle this kind of pressure. She was a bit overwhelmed in the team competition. You could see it in her eyes. She didn't have that usual sparkle. A very difficult pass. It is critical for her. 3 layouts. One of the hardest things to do in gymnastics at this level is to not second guess yourself. If you doubt it for just a second, sometimes you panic and overcorrect. She needs to trust her good training, be aggressive, and go for perfect landing so she doesn't have another little bobble. Oh, see, she checked herself again.
I think she was unlucky to draw the first spot here on the balance beam. This is her first major international event in the all-around finals, and the nerves have to be just getting to her.
Bart, I think it's actually the best thing that could happen for her. She needs to know what that feels like. And so far, she's handling it. As the routine goes on, you can see her get a little tougher with each move. There you go. Good for her.
Nice finish.
And so Moceanu gets her first performance in the all-around under her belt as she goes over to Coach Bella Caroli for some prompt feedback. Now, in the all-around, athletes perform on all 4 apparatus simultaneously. This floor exercise was occurring while Moceanu was on beam. Simona Amanar, one of the Romanians that won the team title this week.
And she helped them the most on this event. She earns those high marks with her tumbling runs like this.
Amanar, the European Cup champion on floor exercise this year.
She has incredible power and spring in her legs. And you combine that with great technique, and you've got great tumbling passes.
Moceanu's beam score, 9.637.
Kathy, it's kind of clear that the Romanians spend a lot of time working on tumbling and not so much on the dance and choreography, because this dance is not great.
I have to agree with you, but watch this. Full twisting double back. Most gymnasts would end right there. She's going to come right back with a triple twist. That's how she scores big.
And the score she received for that floor exercise routine, a 9.775. And now one of our pre-meet favorites, Mo Huilan from China on the balance beam, 16 years of age, 4 feet 7 inches tall. At last year's Asian Games, she won 5 gold medals, but interestingly only finished 3rd in the all-around.
You're not going to believe this routine. This is one of my favorite routines ever. She has absolutely everything in this routine to make it world class. The Chinese always take chances on this event. This is incredible. Round off layout. That was even better than it was in the team competition. Watch her head go back on that jump. That one little balance break is the only slight error in this whole routine so far. I'd really like to see her go for a stuck landing. It is the one area where the Chinese really need to work on. Round up back handspring. Oh, no. This is exactly what we have seen so many times in the past. Yet, at this competition, I really did not expect it. That should be your world all-around champion, and it's gone. And she gets a hug when she needs it most.
You know, this kind of mistake is a lack of experience in a way, because she was going for a stuck landing, didn't really keep her knees bent in order to prepare to take a step, and was unable to accommodate the over-rotation. That's a shame.
Mo's score, 9.312, a rough break in the first rotation. When we return, Shannon Miller will begin the defense of last year's all-around title. She'll be performing on the floor exercise in just a moment.
It's fun. The World Gymnastics Championships on ABC's Wide World of Sports. Brought to you by JCPenney, doing it right. Kellogg's, with good taste, nutrition, and value, the best to you each morning from Kellogg's. State Farm Insurance, like a good neighbor, State Farm is there. And Tagamet HB, the most prescribed medication of its kind, is now for heartburn.
We're back in the first rotation of the women's all-around competition. Next up, American Shannon Miller, whose 5 Olympic medals in Barcelona included a silver in the all-around. And we should remember she's competing on an injured right ankle.
And with that in mind, John, this is going to be the most challenging of all her routines. It looks as if she's going to do the same floor routine she did in the team competition. She's watering down a bit. This is the critical part of a routine, a double twisting front somersault.
Oh, a little off there.
It's important because she really needs to earn bonus points from the judges, and that's an element that she can do that with.
You gain more and more respect for this young lady as a tough athlete every time you see her compete.
You're right, Bart. It's easy to get out there when you're on top, feeling great. Everything's going as planned. It's a true champion. It goes on the floor under circumstances like these and performs beautifully.
You have to wonder, here she's the 2-time world all-around champion. Is it smart for her to be in this competition today? She could go into the Olympics with a less than great finish here.
I don't think that is as important as not getting injured.
Well, this move here is a laid-out front somersault with a double twist. She needs to make it all the way around to get the full bonus. She doesn't quite make it around. Obviously, she's hampered by that ankle injury.
And the score for Miller, 9.625 on floor exercise, puts her behind Amanar in that particular event. Here's Svetlana Horkina, the captain of the Russian team and the national all-around champion.
Svetlana is so competitive. There is no way she's not thinking, I've got a chance now. She's seen a couple of the top gymnasts have falls. This is a great event for her to start on. She really has nerves of steel and an uncanny sense of balance.
Boy, she doesn't hold back at all either, does she?
Watch this pass. First, she shows off her flexibility. Now watch, she swings through to a full twisting back handspring. Much better than in the team competition. Here's my favorite pass. Swing through, layout, step out. What's amazing is she can actually do that skill with a full twist. She's done it once in competition.
You know, because she's so much taller than everybody else, she moves slower. Do you think that's an advantage on the beam, the fluidity of the movement?
I think it's a good timing for her, and it also keeps her calm. One of the most difficult things on balance beam is staying calm, keeping your nerves in check. What a gorgeous dismount. The routine was unique from start to finish. It's so refreshing in a sport dominated by short, powerful athletes to see a different approach to gymnastics. Watch how she shows off her long lines. This is incredibly difficult but elegant at the same time.
And I love her attitude. When every gymnast does a dismount off the end, she says, hey, why can't I do it off the side? That's nice.
The judges award Horkina 9.775. That ties her for the lead with Amanar. As we move over to the floor exercise area, where the winner of 4 Olympic medals in Barcelona, Lavinia Milosevic from Romania. She is the defending Olympic champion on floor.
Lavinia is one who can really take advantage of the unfortunate demise of the Chinese falling on their first events.
And unlike the Chinese, you always expect Milosevic to be consistent.
Difficult routines in terms of difficulty in the tumbling.
I think she's at a little bit of an advantage here, starting on floor instead of maybe a nerve-wracking event like Mo had to start on the beam.
I think you're absolutely right. Enough that I don't think it would have mattered as much to her, but it would have made all the difference in the world to Mo. That was worth resting for. She stood in the corner a long time, but it was a gorgeous triple twist. She is really fortunate to have started on her very best event. This helps her momentum and also puts a lot of pressure on everyone else.
Next up on the uneven bars, Lilia Podkopayeva. She's a 17-year-old from Ukraine.
I have to believe this is a lot of people's favorite to win the competition. She's a true all-around gymnast. Without a weak event, always scores well on the uneven bars. I think the judges love her difficulty, like that full over the bar, and her perfect form. This is better than ever. Ooh, right as I said it. She separated her legs a little bit. So far, that is the only form deduction. Only two minor deductions in the routine. Little hop on the landing and a leg separation on the release move.
We always marvel at her wonderful technique. Well, this is actually one move where her technique is not that great. She twists a little early, and because of that, ends up shorter rotation and has to take a hop on the landing.
Well, the judges award Podkopaeva 9.812, and that puts her in second place behind Milosevic, who earned a 9.825 on floor. So at the end of the first rotation, Milosevic leads the field. Americans Moceanu and Miller in 14th and 15th place.
Our fall fashion
Junior European champion. This year, she won the all-around at the European Cup, and now Svetlana Horkina is poised to turn heads in Atlanta with her tall, good looks, as well as her stellar gymnastics. Kathy Johnson-Clark has more.
She has been called outspoken, expressive, and has been termed a diva by the press. But the ebullient Svetlana Horkina is probably best known for her statuesque bearing. At 5'4", she towers over the competition, and her commanding presence never fails to hold the attention of both judges and spectators. Though her distinctive physical attributes are a valuable asset, it is her determination that has brought her success and led her to the Lake Krugloye Training Center, where a long line of Russian legends have trained before her.
She has proven to be such a stubborn and strong character. She does not want defeat. She is after victory.
I love gymnastics so much. When I came for the first time to the junior training session, Gutsu and Boginskaya were there, and I was afraid to enter the gym. I was so scared, but they said, "Come in, Sveta." But I just stood there at the door, afraid to enter.
She's overcome those fears and become a leader in and out of the gym.
I am the team's captain. Everything depends on me. My behavior will be reflected by all the other girls. I will set the attitude for the championships.
For the past 4 years, this leader has had to learn to push aside her homesickness and rely on her second family.
When I was younger, 1 or 2 years ago, I missed home and my parents. I was still a child. Now I am more grown up and I do not miss my parents so much. The girls and I are all one family.
She's also found comfort and support in her coach of 10 years, who traveled with her from her hometown of Belgorod.
I am with her all the time, so I have to be more than a coach. I also have to be like a second father and a friend.
Together, Horkina and her coach form a symbiotic team with a common goal.
I am a coach of the old school, where the motto was, "Beauty is the soul of gymnastics."
No one is more expressive and generous with an audience than the soulful Horkina.
Freestyle gymnastics allows me to reveal my femininity. When I perform Carmen to Spanish music, I just have to smile. Without a smile, gymnastics would not be as beautiful as I would like it to be.
And perhaps her feminine charm and striking good looks will help her achieve a future goal.
Maybe if I grow another 4 inches, I might become a model.
But regardless of the path she chooses, Horkina's determination will never waver.
Of course there are moments when I want to give up, but it would be so easy to lose everything that I have worked for in one moment. So I stop and think and start all over again.
Horkina's chances have just gotten better. Many of the top all-around contenders have had mistakes, and she's already started with a real strong event for her. She's off to a much better start than in the team competition. What a unique jump with a full turn.
She was a little low on her tumbling landings in the team competition. They were basically out of it. Maybe she sees blood here.
This is the most critical landing of the whole routine. She landed very low in the team competition. It's a triple twist.
Oh, she did a double.
That's gonna hurt. Boy, she needed the triple twist. She needed every ounce of the difficulty she had originally planned.
No matter how lovely the dance is in the routine, in order to get a good score, you have to do complicated acrobatics. This is a very difficult move for a tall gymnast to do. She makes it, but just barely.
And this is a fun pass, one in which she actually earns bonus by combining these two 1.5 twists. I like to call it a triple with a bounce in between.
And the judges called it a 9.687 for Horkina's floor routine. And over at the vault area where the two vaults will be averaged, Lavinia Milosevic has turned in her first vault. Didn't quite hit it right on, earned a 9.675 on her first attempt.
You're right, John. She was a little bit off. I've seen her do this vault much better. It's called a Phelps, and it's worth a 10.0, which is to her advantage.
The judges are very critical on the body position. After she turns off the horse, it's important that she keeps her body completely straight all the way to the floor.
It's a half twist off the horse into a front layout, and you can see she stayed in a pike position in the afterflight. She really needed to stretch her body out straight and show them that layout position.
She'll still get a pretty good score for that, though.
Over on bars, American Carrie Strug, who in the team competition tied for the high score on the U.S. team in 3 of the 4 events.
Carrie is having a terrific competition so far. Started on vault with a 9.6. And this is a great event for her. Watch her good form. That's the best combination in the whole routine, right into her second release move. Dismount's a nice one, full out, great landing. Very strong performance for her.
She really is having a great competition all the way around.
The 2 vault average for Milosevic, a 9.662. We'll have Strug's score on bars when we return. Still in the second rotation of the women's all-around competition, Lilia Podkopaeva from Ukraine next up on beam, an event she won gold at the European Cup this year.
She needs better than a 9.675 to take the lead from Milosevic, and she can do it on this event.
Earlier on the bars, American Carrie Strug earned a 9.762.
The best part of this routine is her presentation. Everything is picture perfect. Now watch this. Pike open, down to the balance beam. Perfect. She came into this competition very well prepared. That's an unfortunate break. Be interesting to see how much the judges deduct, because she did recover well.
Amazing how many gymnasts today have had silly little errors. Things you don't expect in competition.
There's one of the most difficult dismounts off beam. Full twisting double back. Great routine. What a shame. Here's the problem, too. If they take a significant enough deduction on that, she won't get credit for that combination. And if that's her only gymnastics acrobatic series, then she could lose 1/10 of a point for the special requirement, too. As we look at this, understand the judges have an entirely different perspective. They sit down on the floor to the side. From this angle, it looks much worse, because we can really see how far she's off as she goes into this jump. She recovers so quickly, though, it's hard to say what the judges are going to do.
Well, she had a big finish. This is a full twisting double back. She gets up and over so quickly, it rotates very nicely. Wow.
Well, the judges say that routine was worth a 9.787.
Oh, I think that score is a little high.
Next up, Simona Amenar finds herself in third place at the start of this rotation, her first of 2 vaults.
She needs better than a 9.825 to take the lead, and she can do it here.
Wow.
The most difficult vault in the competition. Double twisting Yurchenko. Now, what makes it more difficult in the all-around is you have to average the score of both vaults. So she needs to stick the landing on both of these vaults.
Very clean in the air. She's very quick. Her reflexes are very quick. She gets a good push off the horse.
Perfect timing. Right here, she pushes through her shoulders, launches it into the air, and she has a very tight twist, which certainly makes the landing easier. All she needs to do is duplicate that same vault, and she can move into the lead here. Beautiful.
And that was even better.
2 great vaults from Simona Amenar. They will be added together and averaged.
That's her coach, Nicolae Forminte, one of the national team coaches in Romania.
And the 2 vault score for Amenar, 9.862. She takes the lead in the second rotation. The superstar from Edmond, Oklahoma, Shannon Miller, is next on vault.
And she warmed up so much better today on that sore ankle. Oh, a great vault for Shannon. This vault has actually been devalued just prior to this competition. It's only worth a 9.9, but she did it so well.
That's right. Last year it was worth a 10, and so most gymnasts did it. And it became a very common vault, so they brought it down to a 9.9 to force gymnasts to do a little bit more of a difficult vault. But Shannon performs it as well as anybody in the world.
First vault score, 9.7.
I think she's really showing herself something. She can really be tough when it counts and take advantage of a situation. Awesome performance here.
You said it right, Kathy. She's gutsy.
Every time she lands, the loudest cheer in the arena is from her coach, Steve Nuno, and it's something I really like about him. Regardless of how she's doing, he's as excited about her and supportive of her, winning or not.
Miller's 2 vault average, a 9.712. While Miller was vaulting, Dominic Moceanu was turning in this floor performance.
And this is one stick of dynamite, I tell you. She really turns on this event.
She does seem to be loosening up and trying to play to the crowd for the first time at these championships.
Oh, she stepped out of bounds. That's a 1/10 of a point off. I ask everyone out there, don't you have a smile on your face? She's fun to watch. 2.5 twist.
Great.
Oh, that's a better landing. Though there's certainly things she can work on in terms of difficulty and polish, it's such a charming routine for the audience to enjoy.
And Kathy had earned a 9.712, so halfway through the all-around, Amenar leads the field. American Carrie Strug leapt to 7th place ahead of Moceanu and Miller.
Mentadent users, ask your dentist about Arm & Hammer Peroxy Care.
Our dentist gave us a reason to...
From first to third in the second rotation of the all-around, her third round event, the uneven bars.
I've learned one thing in this competition, not to assume anyone's going to hit their routine. We've seen a lot of fluke-type mistakes. You can usually count on Lavinia hitting her routine. She doesn't have extraordinary difficulty, but she's got enough. And she's got good form. Several release moves.
She has an unusual dismount. It's very tricky to land.
It's the best part of the routine. Double front with a half twist.
Nice.
Not only is this good for her, this is great for women's gymnastics. She's proving to all the naysayers that you can compete at this level at 19 years of age.
The tricky part about this dismount is to get enough rotation in the double front flip so that you can turn the half turn out right at the end and hopefully make a good landing. She's a fighter.
And Milosevic earns a 9.862 here in the uneven bars. Now, 2 years younger than she is Lilia Podkopaeva from Ukraine. She's been in second place at the end of the last 2 rounds. She needs more than a 9.75 to take the lead from Milosevic.
This is a crucial routine for Lilia. I've seen her have trouble with it sometimes in the past on the landings and stepping out of bounds. She has so much power. What an incredible first tumbling run. A double front with a half twist. We've never seen that in competition before these World Championships. Particularly with the addition of that first tumbling run, she has a great array of difficulty. She's performed this routine for some time now. Certainly has it down pat and perfected.
That's a great last tumbling run.
The important landing in the meet for her.
Nice.
There it is. She worked for that too. She really had to pull that last somersault around.
She's having one terrific day.
Bart, I said earlier, she really came to this competition well prepared, in great shape. This is outstanding. A double front with a half twist. I've often wondered why that hadn't been done before. The obvious reason, it's incredibly difficult.
Podkopaeva earns a 9.85 to take the lead here in the 3rd round over Milosevic. The next superstar of U.S. gymnastics just might be Dominique Moceanu. She's already beaten Shannon Miller twice this year, and she has the attributes of other champions as well.
There's a new star rising from Bella Caroli's gym, Dominique Moceanu. And because of her infectious personality and tremendous ability, she's already being compared to Bella's past champions.
I like to be compared to Nadia Mary Lou. And I think it's because I have the personality of Mary Lou and some of the styles of Nadia. And so it's a combination of both. And I enjoy it personally.
Dominique may smile as much as Mary Lou, but she shares her Romanian heritage with Nadia. Dominique's parents defected, as did Nadia, from Romania to the United States. But the comparisons don't end there. There's similar choreography and physical appearances, especially their soulful brown eyes. Is Dominique Moceanu the next Nadia? Historically, she fits the role. The Atlanta Games will be the 20th anniversary of Nadia's first Olympics, and Dominique will be 14, the age Nadia was when she won gold.
Can she be the next Nadia or not? No, she will never be the next Nadia. Nadia was one, and that's it. But she can be the first Dominique, and that would create again a great, lovely, and very alive idol for thousands of young people. But she will be Dominic Moceanu and not Nadia. Nadia was a page of the history, a gorgeous, a beautiful page, but she will stay as it was.
But Dominique has already started her own page in history. She was the youngest gymnast ever to make the U.S. junior national team. And she is currently the youngest U.S. senior national champion.
You won it, Toby. You won it.
It was a great experience for me when I won nationals. I had a lot of fun, and it was a great night. It was really fun for me, and I feel good about it.
Dominique thrived on the excitement of winning the all-around, but lost her concentration during the event finals, falling off the balance beam and the uneven bars. Even so, she kept her smile. Dominique's parents were both former gymnasts, and they understand the demands of the sport. They want her to derive more from gymnastics than just the pleasure of winning.
Gymnastics is a good sport to build a character. And she'll have the character for the rest of her life.
Although Dominique's parents understand what the sport takes, how does Dominique feel about the pressure going into her first World Championships?
I try not to think about the pressure. I'm just going to try and do my best, you know, that I can, and just go out there and go strong and, you know, do it the best that I can, because I know I can do it.
And her next chance to do it is on the vault. She's in 9th place after 2 rotations. Had trouble with her first vault in team competition, but rallied for a high score, which helped the U.S. team earn a bronze for her second vault.
She was so nervous in the team competition. This one is important. There you go.
That was beautiful.
In team competition, she completely missed her first vault, put a lot of pressure on herself to hit the second when she had to for the team to win the bronze.
She's such a tiny kid. She's only 4 feet 5 inches tall, but this is a very big vault. Nice mechanics.
And that first vault earns a 9.712.
Finally, she's proving to herself she can compete at this level, handle the pressure. She needs another good vault. Now she's competing to her potential. Had she had that disaster here in the all-around, it would have dropped her completely out.
You know, Bela Karolyi has had so many great gymnasts over the years. I think he knows he has a real gem in Dominique.
We'll be back with her score in just a moment.
You're watching ABC's Wide World of Sports.
As lovely as the island of Japan is in the countryside, the athletes here in Sabai, Japan are more concerned about the competition going on here at the World Gymnastics Championships. Third rotation, our leader, Simona Amanar from Romania on the uneven bars.
This routine is designed perfectly for the all-around competition. It's not highly risky, but she's got plenty of difficulty. And watch her form throughout.
2 vault average for Moceanu on vault 9737.
It's a full pirouette, beautiful, right on top of the bar. Good routine, not spectacular or highly creative, but solid for the all-around.
An athlete who had some trouble in the early going, but her second rotation is moving her up in the standings, Mo Huilan.
She actually stuck the landing during the team competition. I think she's had a little wind taken out of her sails here, falling on the very first event, her best event. So Yurchenko double twist. She does it better than almost anybody in the world, especially for her size. It's incredible that she can get up that high.
She's 4 feet 7 inches tall. When we first met her last year, she was only 4'4".
She's a giant now.
Mo's first vault earned a 9.812.
She's performing the same vault and trying for a better landing. It's actually better in the air, but she still took that step on the landing.
Aminar's bar routine earned a 9.775, good enough for second place at this point. And here's American Shannon Miller. Overcame the difficult events, now she's coming into some of her strengths.
Well, if you didn't have enough respect for this gymnast, maybe you're gaining it now. This should be a great event for Shannon, especially since she's so pumped up. Got through her tough events on the ankle. And this is where she can shine. So far, so good. Oh, no. Nothing she can do. It's not much of a cover for that kind of mistake. Boy, we're seeing mistakes all over the place. I think it's because there was a lot of stress during the team competition and very little time to recover and prepare for this competition. What a shame. She gets through the difficult aspects of the competition considering her injury and has trouble on something I don't think she's ever missed.
I wonder if at this point Shannon and her coach Steve Nuno are second-guessing their decision to go ahead and compete today.
That was perfect. Full over the bar. Beautiful Ginger. This was clearly a very rare concentration error on Shannon's part. So it's almost the equivalent of a football player running before they've caught the ball. Too eager to get to the next part.
Miller's score, 9.362. Now over at the vault, where Mo Huilan earned a 2-vault average of 9.818, is the tall Svetlana Horkina. She earned a silver medal in the vault at last year's Worlds.
This could be a great vault. Wow. Unbelievable. One of the more complex vaults in the competition, and it's worth a 10. Look at that smile. It's hard to be precise on a vault that has so many components. First the round off, and then a half twist on. Notice her form throughout the entire vault.
Doesn't she seem casual out there?
She's casual, but within beats a heart that is so competitive. She loves gymnastics. She loves winning, too.
With a 9.8 on the first vault, she now needs a 9.975 here to move into the top 3.
This is Horkina's vault. She introduced it a few years ago, and it has only improved since that first time we saw it. Now watch, half twist off, and a backflip. Ooh, that's a little low on the landing. She covered pretty well, standing up quickly, but the first vault was definitely better.
She really has a terrific mindset during competition. She doesn't seem to get frustrated. She's casual. She'll be coming up in the final rotation on her best event, the bars.
Her second vault earned a 9.712 for a 2-vault average of 9.756. So with 1 round remaining in the women's all-around competition, Podkopaeva takes the lead for the first time. Oceanu in 5th, Mo Huilan in 9th, and Shannon Miller in 16th. We're now in the final rotation of the World Championships, where our top 3 contenders are just 1/10 of a point apart. Final performance for Lilia Podkopaeva comes on the vault competition, and she is our leader coming into this round.
Oh, she might just be 1 vault away from being the new world all-around champion. The pressure's not entirely off. Remember, they average the score 2 vaults, so she has to do it 1 more time, but she could do it.
This is a similar style vault like Svetlana Horkina, half turn on, but she does a front flip off, and then the half turn in the second part of the rotation, and a good landing.
Very difficult vault. It's worth a 10.0, which will help that score.
She keeps really good form on it.
As always.
See the half turn, the front somersault in the pike position, and then another half turn. What a talent.
That first vault earned a 9.762.
I can only imagine what's going through her mind. I know she's concentrating on the vault, but there's no way she doesn't sense this feeling of being world champion. know most people think it's the medal and the title that these gymnasts are after, but it's such a personal victory to hit every single routine at the World Championships.
For the last several years, she's just been right on the cutting edge, but she's been overshadowed by Shannon Miller, by the Romanian women, by the Russian gymnasts.
And she's never quite put it all together in one competition. She finally has, and I think that's what the tears are for.
The vault 9.837 guarantees her a medal.
She has set the pace. All the other challengers will know the score they need to beat.
While Podkopayeva was vaulting, perhaps the unsung hero of the U.S. team, Carrie Strug, was performing the floor exercise. This is her 5th World Championships, and she begins the rotation in 6th place.
Carrie's been such an important part to the U.S. team over the past 4 years. She's helped them win Olympic and World Championship team medals, but she herself has never qualified for the all-around finals or event finals. This is her first shot, and she is doing a terrific job.
She comes originally from Tucson, Arizona, but over the last 3 years, she's changed gyms. Seems like 7 or 8 times. Now she's training in Colorado Springs with Tom and Lori Forrester at the Colorado Aerials. Seems to be the best place for her at this time in her career. She's doing so well.
One of the best tumblers the United States has to offer. Watch how she tops off this routine with 2 very strong tumbling runs. Full twisting double back. Four tumbling passes in this routine, showing off her best stuff.
And that routine earned Strug a 9.775, moving her into 2nd place behind Podkopayeva. Now, a lot of the medal contenders are still to come, but a top 10 finish here would be outstanding. Dominique Moceanu's final event, the bars.
She's been steadily climbing up in the all-around standings, 14th to 9th, and now 5th in the final rotation.
Dominique needs better than a 9.663 to pass her teammate Carrie Strug. Oh, she did that so much better this time.
I'm surprised she did it because in the warm-up she didn't go for that transition to the low bar.
Boy, she's really coming on strong now. Finally, she's warming up to this kind of pressure. Watch this great double layout. Probably the best in the competition. Even Bella jumped up and down.
And finally, a smile from this young lady. Her last 2 events were great, vault and bars. Good for her.
We'll have her score when we return with the completion of the final rotation here at the World Championships in just a moment. Bars earned a 9.8, putting her in 2nd place. Simona Amenar is one of 2 Romanians still in the hunt for medals. The 3rd, Gina Gojan, dropped off the bars and off the standings early. Right now, Amenar needs a 9.836 to move into the lead.
The pressure is huge right now for Simona Amenar. She has a chance to move into the lead, but of all the events to end on, this is the most difficult. This is a great pass. 4 elements down the length of the balance beam with 2 layouts.
Oh.
Very nice cover with her arms. You want to minimize every little deduction.
Another slight bobble.
I think it's already too much. The combination of the 2. But since I'm sitting up here, and it's up to the judges how they saw it.
Remember, Podkopaeva had a little bobble on her beam routine. Scored a 9.787, a little higher than we thought she was going to get. The judges didn't hit her too hard.
I said if the gymnast can cover it really well, sometimes it happens so fast. Nope, that'll do it.
There's no chance.
That's the difference.
Our next athlete over on the uneven bars is the impressive Mo Huilan, one of the early favorites. But after a near-flawless beam routine, she fell on the dismount and out of the running for gold. Though in the last 2 rounds, she's jumped from 26th to 9th.
Now you want to see something outstanding, absolutely outrageous, in fact. This uneven bar routine. Wonderful technique into a Gaylord. First time it's ever been done by a woman. She introduced it last year.
After her disastrous performance in the first event, she's come on strong.
It's important. They're establishing reputation here as they go into the Olympics. Whoa! Little step on the landing. I know she's not happy with the all-around performance, but we've seen some great gymnastics.
You know, Mighty Mo is admired by a lot of gymnasts for having the guts to go for this move in the first place, let alone risk it in competition.
And a very high score, 9.862 for Mo. That moves her into 4th place, ahead of American Carrie Strug. Over on beam, 9.637 for Amanar puts her in 2nd place behind our leader, Lilia Podkopaeva from Ukraine. This is Svetlana Horkina. Though the gold medal is out of reach, she could win silver with a 9.831 here on the uneven bars.
So many people tried to discourage her from doing gymnastics because she was going to be too tall. And thank goodness she didn't listen to them. This is just a beautiful routine. Well composed, with unique elements. She pirouettes beautifully, turning on top of the bar in the handstand. Now watch this. Great dismount, full out. Perfect landing. Boy, it's going to be close.
I think she's going to get a huge score. The judges love that routine. They love the originality.
They have great reason to love this routine.
And she's getting congratulations there from former world and Olympic champion Svetlana Boginskaya. This is a beautiful angle to notice the pirouetting moves on top of the bar. Lovely transitions.
After the team competition, she told me she felt guilty about not being able to come up with her best performances for the team. But she's doing it here, and it just might earn her a medal.
Remember, if she's to be guaranteed a medal, she'll need a 9.831 on this apparatus.
Whoa!
9.912.
Did you hear that little yell? When was the last time you heard that kind of emotion out of these normally stoic gymnasts?
And that 9.912 is the highest score awarded during this competition. It puts her in 2nd place behind Podkopaeva. Romanian Simona Amanar drops to 3rd, and American Dominic Moceanu drops out of the medals. And now only one athlete in our field has a chance for this title, Romanian Lavinia Milosevic.
There's nothing like this sweet moment.
And here she is, our final competitor. Chance for a gold. She needs a 9.9 on this apparatus to win.
Kathy Johnson, I know you've been in this position before, needing perhaps the best routine of your life to win a medal.
This is the last performance of my life. I know it all too well. She has an opportunity to show her medal and really get competitive. This is a well-designed routine in terms of landings. Notice she ended that pass with a back handspring. That's easier to stick than a layout. And it gets the same credit. Boy, you can tell she's nervous. She's keeping it together. It's steady, but it's really not spectacular enough for a huge score. But if she sticks the landing, who knows?
Oh! Wow, she's really going to put the pressure on the judges. She really didn't have the variety of skills that some of the other gymnasts did, but there's not much they can take off for.
I have never seen a more supportive and loving group than this Romanian team. So important with this amount of pressure.
Everybody's waiting on this score.
Oh, look at this incredible release of tension. She has done everything she possibly can do in this competition.
We said at the top of the show, she's won a gold medal on each individual apparatus. She's never won a gold in the all-around. Her best finish was second last year to Shannon Miller in Brisbane.
Her score, a 9.737, not good enough for gold, so the title goes to Lilia Podkopayeva, her first world all-around victory. The silver medal to Horkina from Russia, and Milosevic earns the bronze.
I got to say, I'm really impressed with the judges. They could have been tempted to give a higher score, but they did stick with the rules.
All three should be proud of their performances, regardless of the color of their medals. This was one of the most emotional competitions I've ever seen.
And so the official results of this year's all-around competition, the medals go to Ukraine, Russia, and Romania. The top American, Dominic Moceanu, in fifth, just ahead of mighty Mo Huilan. Americans Carrie Strug and Shannon Miller finished in 7th and 12th. That brings to a close this year's search for the finest male and female gymnasts in the world.